Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, please ask them in the questions of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, please join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are accountants and business experts on hand 24/7. During the live session, we will be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and I will reveal the results at the end of the show. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone joining me today. My name is Eriona. I am a Chartered Certified Accountant with the ACCA, and I am also the Managing Director of Majors Accounts & Co. I have, in terms of my experience, I've been working in accounting from a very young age, and at the same time I have been studying to kind of couple that experience with the theory. And under my belt, apart from being a chartered accountant, I've also got qualifications in strategic finance, international banking and finance, and also further qualifications in accounting and finance. So it's safe to say studying for me is done. I believe that I've got the theory that is needed to help small businesses and our clients. I am also a member of the ACCA's UK Practitioner Network panel and ACCA's SME Global Forum, and I'm a regular on the practice room, which ACCA hosts. So in the years that I've been working, I've really been able to kind of see how a business works, how it functions, a business's pain points, areas that they want to improve. Sorry. Helping to find or investigating ways of finding solutions for businesses and really ensuring that they are able to satisfy their goals or visions, whatever they may be, whether it will be to become more profitable or whether it be to grow and expand and become international, for example. So who are Majors Accounts? We are a small family-run practice based in Southeast London. We have been helping small businesses in all industries over the last 15, 16 years now. And we cater mostly to SMEs, so owner-managed businesses or self-employed individuals, whether they are limited companies or, as I mentioned, self-employed in a wide range of industries. Some of our main industries that we deal with are the construction sector and hospitality sector, so pubs, bars, restaurants, salons, barbers. We have car washes as well, IT companies, financial services. So our range of experience is pretty broad. We've pretty much seen everything since we started trading, but we do now focus a lot on the construction industry, whether they're self-employed or limited companies. Since becoming Managing Director of Majors Accounts, I've spearheaded and implemented a digitalisation strategy within the business with the idea and goal of becoming a paperless office, which I'm now proud to say that we are. We are also a QuickBooks-only practice, so we use QuickBooks to kind of help out with all of our accounting and with our clients as well. So we've become somewhat experts, I would say, in this space. And now everything can be done online using an array of different apps which all feed into QuickBooks Online to create an elevated experience for our team, because they're using the latest cutting-edge technology, but also ensuring we're ahead of the game for our clients and seeing how we can use the technology to help our clients' businesses become more efficient so they can free up time to work on their business rather than record keeping and admin and things like that, which is very important but very tedious. So our clients now don't really need to come to our office. We have meetings like on Zoom. We've had way before the pandemic, but I guess that helped us during the pandemic as well. And it allows for our national and soon to be international reach too. So we have clients all the way from the Isle of Wight up to Ireland. There is no kind of barrier in terms of how we communicate with our clients now. The idea of this strategy that I put in place was to bring the client-accountant relationship closer. And as we are a family-run practice, we try to treat our team and our clients where possible as members of our family as well, to help build an excellent rapport between each other and give a more personalised service coupled with the expertise built up from years of working that we've had all years of experience. And with the idea for the technology to bring us closer, so we are the financial director for our clients' businesses, which, without the price tag that usually comes along with that. And we know that our clients wear all hats of the business and they need that extra support. So that is what we're here for. And during this time, our efforts have not gone unnoticed. We have been nominated for 2 years in a row by the British Accountancy Awards for Firm of the Year Greater London. I've been nominated for 3 awards by the Women in Finance Awards 2020 and by Women in Accounting globally as well. Now, this year obviously has been difficult for so many businesses, and I wanted to talk to you about a time of reflection in business. A lot of us started business, those of you who have started business, with great ideas, great ambition, but over the years we can get lost in this. And from time to time, it's a good idea to reflect on the answer to this question. Why are we in business? Now, you could have started your business for a number of reasons. One could be creating an independent source of income. Having multiple customers is less risky than having one employer, for example. Or it could be the freedom to organise your working days to accommodate personal family needs, so have a better work-life balance. Some of us may have inherited a family business and some may have started their own. So whatever your particular circumstances, we've all been motivated to run a business and benefit from it if we've been successful from the rewards that it can offer. However, your motivation when you started business may change over time, and it can be really easy to be lost in the business and lose sight of that motivation and that goal and vision that you've had. And an initial desire to create an independent source of income may morph over time into a means to secure, for example, a well-funded retirement or flexibility to work 3 days instead of 7 days a week. So one outcome we should be careful to avoid is becoming the victim of our business interests. If you find yourself without motivation or lacking enthusiasm, then it may be time to reconsider your options. I know myself, sometimes you can get very tired and you get bogged down in business. The way that I kind of try to get my motivation back up is by attending events, speaking to other people in my industry. One thing that so many people are worried about is speaking to your competitor. But actually, this collaboration is so important because we find out that our competitors have the exact same issues as us. And by helping each other out, all we're doing is elevating our industry and our experience. And at the end of the day, your customers are with you for a reason. So you shouldn't be afraid of that competition. So that's something that I would really recommend, which can help you get better sight or understanding of why you started in business, and try and have that support system with you as well. Now, with this, the government, something that you can also use to help you out is the government is introducing a Help to Grow management course, and it's a government-backed program to help business leaders develop their strategic skills by creating jobs and boosting business performance. This will be a 12-week program and is delivered by 40 leading business schools across the UK and combines a practical curriculum with one-to-one business mentor support throughout, and includes modules on financial management, strategies for growth and innovation, and approaches to digital adoption. So if you're not sure what to do or how to take your business to the next level, then this is definitely for you and can also help boost that motivation. Now, the government has committed to making 30,000 places available in the course over the next 3 years, and the cost of this is subsidised 90% by the government, so it's only £750 that you would have to cover yourself. And don't forget, obviously, that is a business expense. Now, UK businesses from any sector that have been operating for at least 1 year and have between 5 to 249 employees are eligible to enrol. And the participant in the course should be the decision maker or a member of the senior management team within the business. But charities, unfortunately, are not eligible for the scheme as it's designed to support commercial enterprises. And the business secretary actually said that the Help to Grow management is a fantastic scheme to equip ambitious business leaders with the tools to take their business to the next level, helping create an even more high productivity, high wage economy we build back better from the pandemic. So this is a great scheme to get yourself onto, be a part of if you're not sure what to do next. At least you'll have that one-to-one mentor and that support that you really need. And especially being in business, you do find yourself alone quite a lot. So this could help, and knowing you've got someone who knows what they're doing, hopefully, to help you along the way, it is a great support. One thing I need to also make you all aware of is furlough. Now, furlough is coming to an end at the end of this month, and HMRC have actually published the latest analysis of the claims relating to the use of the scheme in the period up to the 30th of June, and the latest schemes show a significant decline in the number of people claiming, which is really positive news. And the latest figures show that almost 3 million people have moved off furlough since off the furlough scheme since March, and more than 500,000 left the scheme in the month of June alone, with fewer than 2 million people now remaining on furlough. And a survey from the Office of National Statistics for the period of the 14th to the 17th of June suggested that the fall in furlough figures has continued, with estimates that between 1.1 and 1.6 million are still on furlough, so it's reducing massively. Now, since the 1st of August, the government support for the scheme has been lowered to 60% of wages, reduced to a £1,875 cap, with employers paying 20% top-up of the wages for the hours not worked for the employee, up to £625. This support will remain, as I said, the same until the scheme closes on the 30th of September. So there's not long left for those who have not thought about what they want to do with their employees come the 1st of October. You need to discuss with your employees whether they are thinking of returning. So I've been speaking to quite a few employers, and they weren't aware that their employees were not actually planning on returning to work. And if the employers were planning to actually bring them back to work, then they're going to have a staff shortage, because their employees are not coming back, and those that have experience. But there's also those employees who are not ready to come back to work, and they may want a phased start. But in order to do that, they will have a lower salary. So there's really important conversations to be had. And as I said, not long left. 30th of September is the last day that the furlough scheme is active. So if you haven't done anything yet, please do speak with your employee and see what options you have available come the 1st of October. So we've got questions coming in already, and I'll start taking these. We have a question from Roger from Instagram, who says, can you help me to understand how to use time to pay and convert these into instalments? I have about £13,000 worth of tax liabilities. So time to pay is actually really important for all businesses at the moment. It's something that's keeping businesses going and helping them to kind of spread their tax liabilities. As long as all your tax liabilities are up to date, so everything that needed to be declared has been declared and reported to HMRC, they will have all the figures available. Then it's a case of phoning them up and explaining to them, what you're able to make in terms of payments on the day, because they would prefer to have something when you call on that day, whether it's 1,000 or no matter what as long as it's something. And then discussing with them realistically how much you can make in terms of monthly payments to keep your business going, sustain yourself personally, but also ensure that during the time that you agree, let's say, for example, you agree 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is, in that time you also have to consider the liabilities that will occur during that period, which you also need to make on time. So It does take some time on the phone with them, just to ensure that they understand everything. They will ask for your expenses to determine whether you will actually be able to make payments. One thing I would say is persevere. I've been helping a lot of my clients with this, and you get all sorts of people on the other end of the phone, some which are reading from a script, some which are willing to understand and talk you through, but try and keep them on the phone and ensure that you communicate your circumstances really well in order to get the best possible time to pay agreement for yourself. Obviously, if you're able to pay earlier, just make that aware that if you trade picks up, business picks up, and you're able to make payments earlier, you will and you can. But it's really important, whilst you set this up, not to kind of fail in making a single payment, because that will not be great for you, because then they will be starting their recovery process. But definitely HMRC are willing right now to make these agreements. Just make sure you've got all your information to hand before you call them. I have a question from Malik on Twitter, who says, do you have any thoughts on the profit first method? Any pros and cons? To be honest, not so much. I would say that this is something that you should probably discuss with your accountant, depending on your position in your business. So unfortunately, I'm really sorry, I can't help too much with that. We have a question from Carrie on Instagram, who says, I still have 1 or 2 staff that are on furlough, and I don't think I can afford to bring them back full time. Is it better for me to let them go now or wait till furlough ends? Well, to be honest, the furlough scheme is available at the moment. So seeing as it is available, I would suggest keep them on. If you feel that you won't be able to bring them back full time, discuss with your employees. It may be worth letting them know now. So if you're unable to bring them back at all, at least it gives them the chance to start looking for another job. But if you're able to possibly work out with them to kind of bring them back part-time until trade picks up, or possibly, part-time for a long time until you're able to bring them back fully, or in that time they can also find another part-time job elsewhere. They could be experienced, so you may not want to let go of them, but either way, I think the main thing is communicate and speak what your options are. At least if they know that they're not going to have a job when they come back, or when furlough ends, they can make decisions on what they want to do. But also seek advice from a HR expert in terms of how will it affect you, because making staff redundant, there are certain rules that you have to go through. So it's not a case of just saying, you're not coming back and that's it. They have rights, and you need to make sure that you're doing everything correctly to ensure that if you do need to let them go, you follow the rules so there's no backlash in the future from your employees. But the main thing is just discuss, and please speak to a HR expert as well. I have a question from Brian on Twitter, who says, what skills are we likely to pick up on the Help to Grow management course that we wouldn't on the job? Does it cost anything or come with any HMRC perks? So it does cost £750, and that's actually only 10% of the course fee. So you can imagine how expensive this course is. You're being taught by mentors, by people that are experts in their field, or by people that have actually had experience in business. So I would say personally, it depends on everybody's personal kind of preference or position in business or circumstances. I would definitely go for it, because it's not too expensive for the amount of information and theory that you will get, and understanding of business structures, ideas to grow. These are all things that we'd love to have. Whereas when you're in business, you're kind of trial and error. You try something, see if it works. If it works, great, you continue with it. If it doesn't, you're kind of stuck in a rut, and you think, what can I do? How can I grow? How can I become more profitable? This is a way of just having someone there to support you and to try, and it may not necessarily be giving you the answers, but try and highlight the routes that you need to be taking, or avenues which you probably wouldn't have thought of before, to help out with reaching whatever goal you may have. In terms of HMRC perks, I mean, there aren't really any HMRC perks to this, but it will just be helping to give you the skills and the theory backed with that support to kind of succeed in business. Obviously, learning on the job in business is one of the only ways, I guess, that you can learn, one of the best ways to learn. But having this as well, it will just give you that extra boost, I think, that a lot of business owners need whilst they're kind of stuck in a rut in their business and don't know what to do next. We have a question from Sydney on Facebook Messenger, who says, some of my previous furloughed staff have been working again on a part-time basis, but I don't think we can afford to bring them back to full-time. Is it okay for us to change their contracts to part-time? So again, great way of bringing employees back, at least getting them used to working again. This is something you need to speak to them, see if they're okay with the fact that, come the 1st of October, they will be losing a large portion of their income. So right now it's being subsidised by the government. So just ensure that they are aware of this and see whether they're happy to convert to part-time contracts. If they're happy to, then it's pretty simple. Changing contracts, they sign it, and you continue as normal. At least that way, you've got a legal agreement in place and they're aware of the changes that are going to happen. However, if they are not aware of this and they were planning on coming back to work as normal and their income continuing to remain at the same level, they may be shocked if you don't tell them beforehand. So the main thing is discuss with them what their options are, and again, speak to a HR expert in case they're not happy with your suggestion. Obviously, you've got to think of business, and if you can't afford to have them working full-time, there's not much you can do about that, I guess. But you need to make sure that legally you're protected and they have their own rights as well. One thing you could do is, if they're working part-time, maybe bring some of them back full-time and possibly let those that are working part-time go, and maybe they're able to find a job elsewhere. There are a few different options, but I think it's important to gauge what the employee is thinking in terms of how they're going to, what they're thinking, whether they're going to be coming back to work, or if they're looking to, some may even be happy to work part-time permanently or for a very long time. During the pandemic, some employees have actually reskilled in their own time, and they're probably doing something else as well from home. So maybe working part-time might be a great option for them. You never know, but it's really important to just discuss those options with them. We have a question from Graham on Instagram, who says, you talked about losing motivation while working in business. What if you're sure you've lost it and it's been over a year? I don't want to leave my team in the lurch, but I think I no longer want to lead the business. There are so many owners that are in the same position, especially the last year. One thing I would say is maybe give it another year. Don't kind of give up just yet, just because what we've been through in the last 18 months is not normal. Every business has been challenged in ways that one could never imagine, and we've all had to try and come back from it. And during that time, it's been quite depressing, not knowing kind of whether you're still going to be trading within the month or by next year, what your position will be. And if you've managed to keep trading and come through this, albeit maybe you're not happy with where you'd like to be, but you've actually managed to come through, then I'd say give it just a little bit longer. And courses like the one that I mentioned could be a great support. Maybe speaking to other business owners in your industry or in your field to see how they're feeling and what they're doing. One thing that I've noticed is when you speak to your competitors, if you want to call it that, you find out that they're actually in the exact same position as you. They've got the exact same issues, and it's quite easy to get demotivated, especially when you see your competitors on social media saying, I've won another client, or our profit's gone up, we're doing great, we're smashing our goals, everything is perfect. They're not going to advertise the bad things, and every business has this. But one way is you will find out how you can overcome certain things which they're going through as well, and you can actually share knowledge, and maybe through doing that you'll actually find kind of the love that you had for running your business again. Also, think of the other options. What would you do if you're not running your business? Would you go work for somebody? If you've been running a business, can you find yourself in a position to be told what to do again. Something to think about. So consider all your options before you do give up. And these are a few things that you could do to try and find that motivation again, or it may be just figuring out how you can spice up your business somehow. And speaking to your employees and getting their input can actually help you. So there are a few options out there, but try not to give up. Give it a little bit more time, I would say, just because this year has not been a normal year. And it's not something to go by, and it's totally understandable that you would feel like this. So many other business owners are in the exact same boat. I have a question from Duncan from Facebook Messenger, who says, some of the materials for the products we sell come from Europe, but I'm having real trouble getting them to the UK due to the driver shortages. I've looked at suppliers closer to home, but they cost a lot more. What should I do? I don't want to lose customers. So this has actually been an issue nationally throughout the UK. We're having huge shortages of drivers. There are actually been suppliers that have come over and they're just stuck at the port because there's nobody to help distribute them. In terms of what you can do in terms of getting these, obviously going there yourself is an option, but maybe not not something that you'd want to do. But for the time being, until the economy kind of gets back up and people get used to the issues with Brexit, because this is one of the main reasons why we seem to have had driver shortages, is because a lot of the drivers went in and out of the border and they may not have been UK nationals. So they're finding it a lot more difficult to get through the border and seem to kind of be saying, you know what, I'm not even going to bother, there's too much paperwork involved. But persevere with it. I know that at the moment it is super expensive in terms of being able to get your supplies where you need to. But if you can find UK suppliers, there are quite a few out there, and they may be able to get their supplies from abroad anyway. So it may be slightly expensive, but you've got to weigh up what's more expensive, not having any supplies to sell, so you will lose income anyway and lose customers, or getting some supplies where right now they're slightly more expensive until the economy kind of regulates itself back to a normal level again. I'm going to take one last question, and it's from Helen on Instagram, who says, we're still conscious of the risk of COVID, but we are confident we can bring all of our staff back once furlough ends. We've heard recommendations of putting groups of staff in bubbles and allowing office access in shifts. Is this a good idea, and how could it affect their contracts? So depending on your business, if they're able to work remotely, then great. This is what we did with our team. Currently they're working 3 days in the office, 2 days from home. So we've got a shift basis. So within the office, there's never, the whole team is never here. So in terms of social distancing and things like that, it's been great. And also the other perks and benefits are that the team love it and they're becoming even more efficient. So if you're able to do something similar to this, obviously it depends on your business and whether you can do that. It's a great idea. So unfortunately my time is up, but the poll results are in. We asked you, is it likely you will need to let staff go when furlough ends? None of you said yes. 50% said no, and 50% said not sure. So this shows that, again, there are so many of you that still have not kind of discussed this with your employees and seen what your options are. If you haven't yet, please make sure you know what your options are and speak to a HR expert, as I've mentioned a few times today, and speak to your team to see what they're expecting, what they are willing to do, what they're not willing to do, and then you can make a decision accordingly, because you know what your business will be able to afford, and you need to start putting things into action now, not leave it till the last day, because it could be so much worse for you as an employer, obviously with complaints from your employees if they're shocked and they weren't aware of what was going to happen, but also for your employees who, without having any warning, will lose a large chunk of their income. So please make sure you get in contact either with your accountant or a solicitor or HR expert that will be able to give you guidance. The ACCA website as well is free, and you can also get a lot of information there and see what your rights are and what your employees' rights are and how to go about it. So at least that's the basic that you can do if you don't get into contact with an expert. So that will give you some information. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you do want to get in touch with myself, please contact me via the Majors Accounts website at majorsaccounts.com. We have a live chat feature there, so feel free to chat with me on there. We also are on all social media platforms, so on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Instagram. So feel free again to contact us through any of those mediums, or via our email, info@majorsaccounts.com. We also have on our website a news section which we update daily with just general content on businesses, how businesses are affected, whether and what schemes are available to you to help out, or different issues or tax issues. Apart from that, we also have an app which you can download from our website, which again gives a lot of information each week, an update on what's available to businesses and so on. We also have tax calculators on there to help you out. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is Lucy Johnson. She is also an accountant and founder of I'll Bookkeep. So tune in to pick up on some bookkeeping basics for small business owners. A reminder that if you need any more advice, please join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are accountants and business experts on hand 24/7. I've really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. I hope my answers have helped, and I hope you all have a great day.